Hello there and welcome to Namident Academy. I have been an international student for a couple of years, and that I have made some mistakes, and I've seen my colleagues, my friends also made some mistakes that I think it should not be repeated by new and young students who want to pursue their education internationally. And hence I start this series of videos named International Student or International Education. I have seen a lot of people making mistakes from the beginning of their journey to the host nation they are going to. And hence, I want to give you some term advice on a checklist on what to do before arriving in your host country. First is research on the destination. Research on the culture norms of the host country. What are their culture? How are they living? Get information about that. The customs of those people, what are normal in those countries. And then this will help you to integrate faster and to avoid culture shock. In every country that you are going, in every community that you are going, there are things that are different from your own country. In some, for example, I see in a country that almost everybody has gone to court before, that going to court and holding grudge is their hobby. And sometimes you are coming from a country that everybody is running away from court case. So you need to know, you need to learn those things from watching videos, reading information about those things, the culture of the people, far before you arrive in that country. It will save your time from shock, and then it will let you integrate with the people faster because you understood them earlier. And also, before you go, research information about the city you are going, about the university, the neighborhood of the university, the kind of transportation commonly used in the university around, the weather condition, the climate of the country or the city you are is very important. According to the climate of the people, that you can be able to buy some kind of clothes so that you are not going to suffer in your first years. Normally school starts around August, September, and in most countries that is where we are changing. The seasonal change is taking place, and maybe you are coming from a cold part of a country towards another country which is hot part, and you don't know. Then you go in that country unprepared, you are going to suffer. So try as much as possible to read around and watch videos about researching about your destination, both the climate, the people, their culture and norms. It's very important. It's going to save you a lot, that you are not going to fall sick easily. Check about their clothing. What are they wearing? How many layers are they wearing? What is a good weather there? And what are they doing on good weather and on bad weather? Yeah, if you do this research, your transition inside the country you are going or the community you are going will be fast. The second point is the visa and immigration. Yeah, everybody know when you are moving to a country that your country and that country don't have visa free. You need a visa. Everybody know. So you get your visa. But try as much as possible to start the visa process far in advance, because there are some frustration that the embassy can do, ask you for multiple times to bring this document, to bring this document. So try as much as possible to start this very earlier, because for example, they may need some letters from your host university, and that within July, August, September, most of these offices, people are going on break. So if for example, the person who is giving you, for example, a person in charge of this document that he has to give you is on break, and that there is no assistant to assist you. And in most countries, when somebody is on break, he doesn't read his email, he doesn't take the call because he has a telephone for work, and he or she has a telephone, private telephone. No, away from work, no working telephone and email. So try as much as possible to start the visa process very early and advanced, and also familiarize yourself with the immigration rules and regulation. For example, in some country, when you are holding a student visa, you are not allowed to take a resident permit. And for some countries, if you are holding a valid student visa, immediately you enter the country, within 1 to 3 months, they want you to take a resident permit. Read about it. The university is not going to provide you all this information. And maybe before you realize, it's too late for you. So you have to take time and read all these things. When you are going on scholarship? And if yes, do you have the right to work? Or you are not holding scholarship, you want to work. How many hours can you work? Do you need a working permit to work, or your visa can help you to work? All this aspect is part of immigration services and immigration information that you have to learn and get the right information far ahead before you enter the country. Because sometimes you enter the country having bad weather condition, maybe you have not settled well, and this timing is going, money is not on your side, and you are going to get yourself into difficult condition, and you're not going to enjoy the first few weeks of your stay in that country. So be very careful about it. Know all the information of immigration. Don't depend on your host institution for this information. Mostly nationals of a country don't know anything about immigration laws unless the person is a lawyer, immigration lawyer. The third is accommodation. It's very important. Secure accommodation in advance before arriving. It depends on how you are going to that country. For example, if you are going on a scholarship, and the scholarship secretariat is giving you accommodation, by the time you arrive, they should have given you the name of the dormitory or the housing hall on campus or outside campus you are going to stay. Be sure to get that information, and as I said, be sure to know how you will reach that place faster, and possibly faster. Yeah. And also, if you are going to rent it on your own, try as much as possible to start it earlier, because when the school season begins, sometimes the prices of this accommodation goes up and they are limited. If you want to integrate faster with the people and go out of campus, don't stay around campus. If you stay around campus, you are still a student and you will feel like the world is small. But when you live outside campus, you can see the different culture of the people and you adopt differently, and you will get more to know the nationals early as possible and also get to see many opportunities. So if you are not given the university hall, you can stay around the university and also in the town. So research about the accommodation and deposit your money. If you know somebody in that country, maybe in that case also you have to research for this kind of things on social media, either on Telegram, on Facebook and others. We have this kind of community that is available, like for example the Ghanaian community in Turkey, the Ghanaian community in Sakarya, the Ghanaian community in Munich, the Ghanaian community, or let's say the Indian community. Those kind of things you can search, and then from there you can get information about accommodation, and you also keep in touch with your international office. They have an office that is that can help you secure accommodation, because there is a lot of fraud when it comes to accommodation, especially for foreigners. And do not, unless you get official contract, official contract, signed contract, do not post any money or transfer any money to somebody unless you get the official contract. Try as much as possible to let the university know about it or the international office know about it. And with accommodation, sometimes in the application that you have, you can see some comments, some things about the accommodation, like people will do comment and something. Read the reviews of those people. Like if it's a hostel, read the review. Maybe they are not good, they polish themselves as if they are good. Read. And also seek recommendation from the former students in that houses where the person rent a house or a hostel or so on and so forth. So be aware of that this getting accommodation in a foreign country, especially if you are far from that country, is difficult. So one way or the other, you can also book either a hotel or motel where you stay there for some time, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 days, as you survey a good place to get accommodation. But that one also comes with extra charges on you. So but try as much as possible to look around. Yeah, don't repeat the mistakes some of us. Fourth is health insurance. Try as much as possible to get a health insurance that will cover at least your first year of stay. And this, with the health insurance, mostly there is this traveling health insurance, and there is a traveling insurance and health insurance, national health insurance. For the traveling health insurance, mostly is for you during your travel until you settle for the first 15 days. It depends on the country you find yourself. In most European countries, you will get that requirement before they give you visa. But when you enter the country, you need to get a health insurance company. So if in your own country you can get to buy this health insurance in that country you are going, is easier, and that's good. But if not, try to know the amount and the condition of the health insurance clearly in advance, because we have seen people that they go to a country and they depend on this travel health insurance, and then they fall sick, and that is a huge problem to the community, particularly during our time as the welfare committee chairman of the African Union in Sakarya. There was this our colleague who was having this some kind of insurance, which is the traveling insurance, just to get accommodation and so on, and the person fell sick without health insurance. It took us the community to donate a lot of money and to move offices negotiating and seeking funds from the governor, from the state leadership, until the person gets secure health insurance and was covered for the operation. But you don't know your condition, you are just going there, new person, you don't know many people. So try as much as possible to get health insurance that will cover at least your first 6 months studies before you can even think more and expand it. And also regarding something about health insurance, also is the health system of every country. Try as much as possible to understand the health system of that country you are going to. In most countries, when you fall sick, you don't go to the hospital direct. You have to take an appointment, with the Turkish language they call rendezvous. You have to get appointment to go to the hospital. And if it's emergency, there is level of emergency, a red, yellow and green emergency, and that you go to the emergency center or even call the ambulance. So you have to know, do you need a family health provider, or if you are sick, do you go to the hospital direct? What should you do? And also before that, it's also a part of insurance to check about the required injection before you enter that country. For example, if you are coming from Africa, from abroad, you need to take the yellow fever injection and some malaria, anti-malaria. And it's common to all South America, across the tropical region that you need this yellow fever injection if you are coming from the tropics, and also this kind of malaria sort of things. And if there are, and this time also there is this requirement in some countries to get the COVID tests and to also get the COVID injection and so on and so forth. Read them very well and understand what you can be able to do. And with this, if you are going to the cold weather and you are coming from the hot weather condition, you have to be careful and know what kind of medicine you drink in case you fall on the flu because of the cold, because of change of weather, and all its aspects under the health insurance or the health in particular. Be very careful about that. Fifth aspect is financial prepared. Prepare for your finance. It's very important. Do you know, have you paid the school fees in advance, or you pay it when you reach there? Is there possibilities to divide the school fees and pay each semester, or you pay it once? It's all there. Before you leave your country, you have to get this, we call it a budget calculator or living condition calculator that is available in some countries. You can calculate how much you need to spend in a month. In every city are different. For example, if you are living in Istanbul, or somebody who is living in New York, or somebody who is living in other country, even with the same country, different part of the country is different. So you have to get this rough estimate to know and have the money you are going to open those things. And also check whether there is this online banking nowadays, because opening a bank, fiscal bank in most countries, need a resident permit or a sort of registration at the local government before you can proceed. But in your case, if you need to deposit some money in your account before you leave, or when you go to deposit the amount to get a card, then you can go and look at for online banking. There are a lot of online banking platforms available. And if you are going to Europe, and particularly in Turkey, thereabout, I have some information. When you comment there, I can share with you some of the available online banking. For other regions, I know it's available there. So you have to look at how you start your banking as early as possible. And especially if you are sharing home, when it comes to accommodation, I forgot to say there are some places you share apartment. Everybody has his individual rooms, and you share the hall and the kitchen. And because of the risk in that place, don't keep much of your money in that place. You have to get a bank as early as possible to deposit this bank. And also look at the charges of the banks. Some of the banks are charging very high charging, and it's very difficult. And also, before leaving, if you have families, you are the breadwinner of the family, especially if you are going to do PhD and masters, particularly if you are married. Look at how you will balance those things, especially if you are on scholarship. Don't make the mistake we made, thinking that when we arrive in Sakarya, we are going to be giving money. And hence, we didn't bring a lot of money on board, and we struggled. Before we got our money from the scholarship certificate, it took us about 2 to 3 months, because of the procedure you have to follow. You have to sign this document, you have to do the registration at the university, you have to get this kind of number, this resident number, this and this and this. And before you realize all those procedures and processes, you are using your money, you are doing this, you are doing this. So that is very frustrating, and you are lacking money. So try as much as possible. If you have to rent the money from friends and family, do so, and give your family, your children and your wife or your husband and this about 3 months distance money. Because when you come abroad, although you can get the money immediately in the first month, maybe when you look at the international transfer, you don't really understand the international transfer. So you have to study, how can I send money to my family, my children to survive? And if I need money in the host country that I am, how can they send me money so that I will survive? There is different way, either bank wire transfer or the use of this application and so on and so forth. And this, you can learn it by asking, by reading all together. Is very important. Budget your time, budget very well and look deep. As I said, when you research about the destination, you get to know the kind of clothes, so that before you leave your country, you can buy one or two of these major clothes which are seasonal sensitive, that you can survive, especially when you are going to wear a boot. You have to know that, and it's very important. So it's very important to know the cost of living and you budget effectively, especially in your first few months. And you know that most of these offices and then the registration you are going to do, some of them require some money and some of them don't require money. So you have to equally budget for those things, because it will be very difficult to get money in abroad from because you are now acquaintance to some people. They've not really know you, maybe within 1 month, within 2 months, within 3 days and 4 days and so on, and you are stuck, you need money. You can't get that kind of assistance easily. So you have to far advance think about this. The sixth information is about document. And one of my colleagues, he came to Turkey, and then the university required his official certificate, and that is not available. So the university said, no, we can't register you until you get this. So the person has to call the family, and then they use this international document transfer to post the things till it took him a lot of time. So for the person to get his money, because he needs this registration to get the resident permit, and then to get the bank account, and to get his money from the scholarship secretariat, it took him extra time. Do yourself a favor. All the 4 official documents you have, make them 2 copies. Take the original and also another copy, and put them in different parts of your luggage. Yeah. For example, the original and this thing, take it in your backpack when coming is with you, and then anything can happen. You put another photocopy or certified copy somewhere. Check, especially your passport is very important, and also copies of your passport, and also passport pictures. When you come to a new country, you are going to do a lot of registration, and you need a standardized picture internationally. Now there is this picture with white background, so the dimension differ from country to country. So you have to research and know the country you are, which one, and you can take about 25 or 24, who knows, you will need them. And also your information about maybe your language competency, if you have to do all your certificate, all your document, all the information about your insurance you bought, every document. Try as much as possible to scan or take a good picture of some of these documents, and put them on your phone or on hard disk. For example, sometimes you can't easily get your backpack or this thing, so you can show or transfer to the person in charge. It's very important. And also, for example, some applications are done online. So if you are new in a town, now you are going to search for cafeterias or printing place to do this kind of scanning. It's very difficult, man. You don't want to be in those conditions. So scan them well and put them in a folder. Depending on the email address you are using, there's now a cloud that you can put them there, and when you need it, you can download and use it. And also in document, I also remind you, if you are sending a laptop, we have internationally different socket for laptop, because if you have all your document on your phone or on your laptop and your charger, your battery goes down and you cannot charge your phone or laptop, is frustrating. So know the country you are going and check if they are using the same socket or the same voltage. For example, I'm aware that in my experience in America and in Europe, and also the information I get from those in UK and we in Ghana, there are 3 different type of socket that is available. In, let's say, US, they have their different socket type, and the Europe in general, we have different, and also the UK have different socket. So you can get the adapter attached to it. Get the adapter, so that it's not that you are coming immediately enter the country and now you are going to search for these things. It's not be best for you. So for the document, keep both the physical document, the papers, and the digital document. and you save yourself a lot of time. The seventh point is language skills. So if your host nation has the same language as your hometown or English, you are speaking English and you are going to a country, their language is English, yeah, it's good for you. But mostly, aside United States and UK, every country, although the language of your instruction might be English or maybe English, you need to know the local language of the people. You can't learn the local language immediately, but try as much as possible before going to that country to watch videos in that language and other stuff to get the sense of how difficult the language is and get some motivation that I will go and learn this language. And then download a dictionary or a translator in that language. We faced problem when we came Turkey earlier, that we don't know anything, any language. And that was the motivation why some of us learned the language and we integrated with the people, because we could not survive without the language. Imagine you are going to eat and you want to know rice. In English language, rice, when you say rice, is also equivalent to the cooked rice or the uncooked rice are all rice. And in Turkish language, for example, the cooked rice has different meaning, different name, and the uncooked rice is different meaning. So we just took one name and we struggle without getting some things. So in general, try as much as possible, if you have longer months before you go, to read some of the phrases, some of the major phrases, like where is the toilet, or to know the name of a toilet in that country, or a name of a restaurant in that country, or water in those countries, and know the numbers, the money, and it will save you time. It will save you time and it will remove the frustration. Other than that, you will be stuck somewhere and the locals don't know anything. Try as much as possible to get a translator. Nowadays, we have a lot of translator application and it's going to help you. Even the one you can use your own voice. And prepare, if there is need for language, prepare your mind in far advance that you are going to learn the language. Don't think that you are not going to learn. If you make your mind that you are not going to learn, it's your own options, but it's not an advantage for you, because that means that you are going to live very costly in that country. You cannot go to their market. You only go to the supermarket where you see the written cost and you buy, and most of these supermarkets are expensive. You are going to mingle with the foreigners, buy with the foreigners and so on. And in some countries, when you are doing like that, you are going to pay a lot. So you have to be able to integrate with the locals. So you can only do it by learning the language, and try as much as possible before leaving and arriving in that country. You have created the motivation and the eager to learn the language. The eighth is packing essentials. I said it earlier. Try as much as possible to get a clothing according to the climate, and also get the plug. Be aware of the voltages. They are very important. Now, we can't do without electronics because we need to communicate with people here and there. And also, before leaving, is part of packing. Try as much as possible to communicate with your family, that in what platform you can be able to communicate with them. Because when you arrive in that country, and maybe you can get internet at the airport sometimes, maybe, who knows. But try to settle on the mode of communication, and that are you going to use the social media platform, that if possible, if your mother and if your parents don't know much of technology, try and install on their phones for them and explain it to them. This place always put on this, put on this. If you have younger colleagues, or I don't know, you can let them help them, so that, or you can call through your other persons. Make it a standard way that you can get in touch with your family, because you need maybe to let them know that you have arrived and so on. And also, when packing your clothes, I give you, there is these videos I learned before. If you can search, is the military parking. You know, when you see a military guy hanging his bag, when you check the number of things that is in the bag that is still went to the bag, looking at the volume, is wonderful. So you can learn about the military parking, how the strategy, the military are parking their clothes inside their bags. It will save you a lot of time. The weight will be the same, but the volume will differ very well. So try as much as possible to look at how you pack your, if the country need heavy clothing, if they need boots, you have to get a proper boot, and look through videos what kind of boots are important, how can you keep yourself warm or keep yourself cold. If the place is much hot, how do you get these kind of creams for skin burn and those sort. So the essentials, you have to pack your personal. Are you on medication? You have to buy like 2 to 3 months of those medications, so that in case you go to that country and you don't have it before you find it or visit a doctor, you have some 3 to 4 months of medication. Don't forget, it's very important when it comes to medication, when it comes to your health. Yeah, so look around and you know your own allergies that you have, and to do your research you can know this food, what is inside. Be careful and pack all your things very well, and also look at the plane ticket you bought, what is the kilos requirement, and also if you are going to do a transfer, you need to get some few of your important things with you, because of the transfer can take time and other things and other sort of things. So local contact at your host nation is very important. Try as much as possible to get the telephone number or the email address or the WhatsApp or the Telegram or anything that you can communicate with those people in your host university or town. Okay, for example, there is this international student advisors or international authors, and it will be very important to communicate with them on regular. To get their contact is very important. When you arrive, you communicate with them and they can show you direction here and there. It's very important. And also it's also part of a contact, local contact, I said it earlier, to join groups on social media. Particularly these are groups like, for example, on Telegram. There are a lot of such groups on Facebook that you get to know people in your own country before you go, who might be in the university or in the town, so that in the first few days you can get some social support there and sense of belonging there. The number 10, which is the orientation. In most institutions, there is a meeting or pre-arrival orientation that is being organized. Don't miss those things. Never miss them. They are having a lot of information there. Try as much as possible to be part of this orientation, and when you arrive, also go through those orientation and learn more. And that brings me to the final information, which is about the airport. Many people have missed their flight when they are doing some kind of transfer because of lack of preparedness. Like, for example, you are making transit and you don't know about the airport. Some airports are very big, so first download the map of the airport, the plan of the airport, and right where you are arriving, they write gate this on let's say terminal 1, and your next connection is terminal 4, gate 7, or the gate they can change, but the terminal international departure you should know. Make a paper. This information should be on a paper. Print it, because your phone can go off and you can't ask in the airport. Don't try as much as possible. Don't to ask the fellow passengers. If you are going to ask, go to the information center, or else you are going to waste your time. People sometimes they just lie. They say go, 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 and you go. At the end, the plane will fly. And also get a paper, print it. If you are going to take a train station, already I told you to do this kind of research. Make some mark on it, the timing and this all and all. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and also I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and I will at a regular time interval post things regarding international education, international student experience. I will share with you, and hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.